Welcome, everybody, to episode 194 of the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We are your hosts, Adam, Amy, and Russell Gibson, coming to you a little early this weekend.
Just on the social butterflies, aren't we both, Ad? Too much on.
Oh, look, we've got a long weekend down here, and we want to enjoy it. So we thought we'd get things rolling a little bit early, but there's plenty to talk about.
I was actually thinking to myself, there's not much to talk about this week, but then we look at the run sheet, and I don't think we're going to get through it all. So
there's just lots in the news. It's just not all of it's hobby related, but there's news everywhere.
Yeah.
Not always good news. Shall we start it off with some bad news? Because I think it's funny bad news. Are the Dallas Mavericks cursed?
No, they're not cursed. They're just managed by an absolute goose.
Not for long. I feel like you made a bold prediction when we did our Luka trade summary that Nico Harrison was going to get fired. I'm sure that move's not far away.
You DM'd me that, but I've got to be honest with you. I kind of feel like it's like the most obvious thing in the world. But the funny thing is, actually, I wonder if the owner put him up to it. It was a cost-saving measure, right? So actually now he's got a job for life. So they're going to be the new Washington Wizards of the West, basically. They're
pretty cooked, and they've got bugger all draft picks. And for those that aren't aware and have their head in the sand this week, Kyrie Irving's now out for the season.
Yeah, sorry. We don't do a good job of actually getting to the facts, do we?
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, why are they cursed? Yes, they traded away Luka Doncic. Yes, they traded away Kristaps Porzingis, Jalen Brunson, you name it, they'll get rid of it. Don't you worry. But in addition to that, Anthony Davis has only played one game to date, and Kyrie Irving is out for the season.
Yeah.
So
it's really, really unfortunate. Torn ACL.
Yeah.
The commentary around it, though, that I really hated was that, the ESPN heads were saying, that they ground Kyrie down into the ground. Like,
no.
He definitely had an uptick in his minutes. I think that's absolutely, you can't deny that. Like, the numbers are there statistically. Yep. But at the same time, he's a professional athlete. Yeah. A very small number of increased minutes is not going to make him to his ACL. And also, too, it was a contact injury. It wasn't like he was just running down the court and it happened. So it's like there's a bit of bad luck to it. The other funny thing to think about this, too, is that it's a very similar injury. So do you remember when Giannis bent his knee backwards in the finals?
Yes.
And he was out for like 4 or 5 days, and he came back with that knee wrap that was like 3 times bigger than his knee.
Yeah, yep, and he shouldn't have played, but yes.
Yeah, but so it's not funny. So the interesting thing about these athletes is like they actually have hypermobility. And so Anthony Davis is like another one that sort of falls into this category too. And actually part of their problem sometimes actually their joints are too flexible. And it's like in this instance, obviously there was too much movement in the joint, and that's what's resulted in this horrible injury. So I think the one thing I want to say here is that my thoughts go out to Kyrie, because it's just that 12-month recovery and rehab process he now has to go back through. And, my thoughts are out to him. And I think all this other stuff around it is just unfortunate that the commentary sort of leads to that. I don't think this is Jason Kidd's fault. As much as I hate Nico Harrison, or as much as I think he's a terrible general manager, it's not his fault.
This particular one is not his fault.
No,
trading injuring Kyrie Irving is not part of his agenda. Trading Luka was. Trading Brunson was. You know what I mean? Like the moving of pieces has been.
But to gamble on the health of Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis and trading away Luka, like, to me, that a recipe for disaster. And this is probably the worst possible outcome, for all of this scenario. So,
well, we go back a month, right? When Nico did the trade, he was very adamant that Anthony Davis was the piece they needed, and this was it. This was they were going to start ascending to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And since that has happened, Anthony Davis got injured. Kyrie, like, the Mavericks haven't been great. They've got all their bigs are injured, and they've been on this downward spiral, and it's sort of the huge explosion has been the finale of Kyrie being out as well.
Yeah.
Poor Klay Thompson must be going, what the hell did I sign up to?
Yeah, I think that was a bit unfortunate. So we're going to talk about another team today in terms of their future draft assets, and that's going to be the Phoenix Suns. So we'll save that for later. But just really quickly, so actually Dallas isn't as bad as Phoenix. So they've got their own pick this year.
Yeah.
Next year, they've got their own pick.
Yeah, for the next couple. 27 to 30, I think.
It's protected pick 1 and 2. Otherwise, it's going to go to Charlotte Hornets. In 2028, they've got a pick swap with OKC. Of course, OKC is going to get in on the action, right?
Yeah.
In 2029, Houston holds their draft rights. So that's the other dark horse here. Houston Rockets have now got a really good young team, but actually they've also got quite a
Some
few
draft
future
picks.
assets up their sleeve. In 2030, the Spurs also hold their draft swap right. And so that's, again, the other one. Like, San Antonio's got a good young team, but they've also been stockpiling draft picks. Like, I think the Western Conference is going to be very exciting the next couple of years.
I reckon by 2030, I think we're going to see the league sort of flip.
Sorry, hang on a second. Just there's one more. Oh no, wait, that's a second round pick. I can't say that. Oh, for a second, it said 2031 unprotected pick, but that's a second round pick. That's
the second
okay.
round. Okay,
we can let that one go. That's all right.
You can pick up second round picks at the local convenience store. That's fine.
Yeah. Did you watch the Kyrie injury?
No.
Don't watch it.
I
it's
struggle,
one of those ones
I struggle
where you're like,
with those injuries where things hyperextend.
It actually is disgusting. I hate those. Like, I watch it once and I'm like, that's it, never again. No, I'm done with that. Yeah. Hey, should we talk Kyrie Irving cards for 2 seconds? Because I think we should. I think that's the whole point of the show, isn't it? Let's look at this card here. So we're going to talk about Kabooms a little bit today. 2013 Innovation Kyrie PSA 10. Population on this is 8. Last sold price on this is $2,000. Interesting on this, the card ladder price ratio or the grade ratio value is 1,300.
Which one was this? The
2013 Innovation Kaboom.
Yeah.
This hasn't sold for a very, very, very long time. Very limited sold data on this, but it is absolutely skyrocketed.
Pop
for years, it was sitting around less than 200. It's now gone right up to 2,000. Look, it's kind of funny. There's so many of these little niche cards like floating around, but it's cards like that I think are really good pickups. Look, I think Kyrie's value in general, and we're going to talk about this in the next segment on the show in terms of proven vets versus prospects. I actually think Kyrie's a pretty safe bet. Even if he never comes back and he never contributes again, what his career is. He's got enough there in terms of, he's won his championship. He's got all that sort of, how would you describe his career? He's got like a lot of, kids love him. He's got accolades. Like all the handles.
He's got enough accolades as far as pedigree for the Hall of Fame. He's got enough, his highlight reel, I guess is.
Highlight reel, but also too, he's got that sort of social media presence and the connection to fans. Like, I think he's done that really, really well.
The Uncle Drew personality.
Yeah.
The definitely, he's got that rapport with the community.
Yeah. From bad news, let's go to good news. Lakers star LeBron James surpasses 50,000 combined points in the regular season and playoffs. I'm not going to read this whole article to you.
Oh, look, he got an assist from Luka, and he hit that 3 to go over 50K total points.
That's an insane number, though, isn't it? So I think there's 2 things to talk about here. The first thing is anyone going to beat this ever?
No. But it's like, have you looked at the list? Have you seen the list of all-time scorers? Like how crazy that is?
Talk to me about it.
I'm trying to find it now. I was watching the stats on the while I was watching the game, and basically it's LeBron, and then it's obviously Kareem, Malone, Kobe, Jordan, right?
But you literally called it. It's LeBron, Kareem, Karl Malone, Kobe, Jordan, Dirk, Wilt, KD. Yep. KD's at 30K, so he's got another 20,000 to catch up on.
And he needs to make the playoffs to do that, to really add some extra games to it.
So that's actually what I was going to say, was that I can't actually imagine anyone who's currently playing the NBA getting to 50,000. So it's going to be, in my head, the next generation coming along.
Yeah.
I don't think Luka's going to get there. I think he's going to be pretty sturdy in his career, but I don't think he's going to get to 50K. I don't think Wemby's going to get to 50K, and obviously he's interested at the moment. He's injured at the moment. Yeah,
it's a lot of points. There's nothing it's like trying to put it into context. It's so difficult. Kareem combined scored 44,149 points.
Yeah.
So LeBron's already 5,000 points in front of Kareem.
Somebody who played for an insane amount of time.
Malone only got 41,000. Kobe didn't even get to 40,000 at number 4.
Yeah.
And that's combined. So, and Michael Jordan sitting, as I said, 5th on that list, 38,279 points. And that is combined regular season and playoff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The craziest part is the number one spot keeps going up.
Yeah.
Like he's at 50,064 at the moment. He just had 2 30-point games. Like he's not slowing down and he's 40 years old. It's insane.
Yeah. Topps have acquired his shooting sleeve from that game, and that'll be put into a card and released out for collectors.
Just the whole sleeve, or you reckon it'll be a series where there'll be a number to 10 and then the one of one will have the tick in it?
The post that I saw was pretty limited. It just had one card on it, but I'm assuming they're going to go down the route of what you were talking about. It doesn't make sense for them to purchase the sleeve and just make one card.
Big piece of material, just like chop. Let's butcher this thing so that we maximize money with it for sure.
The way they could do it, and so it's a Topps Now card. So what they're going to do is they're going to release it as a Topps Now. So what they could do and what they should do is they do the one of one, which has got his autograph on it, and he's also got the 50K points on it, which is like, it's delicious. We were talking in group chat about this, that the aesthetics of it, wasn't that fantastic. There's not that much contrast to it. I definitely agree with that. But at the same time, I do like the concept of this. I think Topps really know how to do these Topps Now cards immaculately. What they then could do is do all the other numbered stuff with other parts of the patch and then fill that right out. So it's going to be that same thing where people put in their orders, you buy as many packs as you want to purchase. They'll make the base cards to that number and then everyone gets a pack.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the future of trading cards.
I think we've touched on this before. I actually think they are going to that this route is where they're going. Oh, okay. Topps
It's
Now
so
issued
clever
$11.99. One random auto will also get an autograph inscribed one of one with a colored parallel. These will include. So they're going to release it. Remember the Olympic card. Apparently, there's going to be a 99 green, 75 blue, 50 number to 50 gold, 25 orange.
That makes sense.
Yep. The bit of sleeve in it, if there's multiple stuff, it doesn't go into too much. But a lot of excitement around about this. And it's the Topps Now cards being sold for $12.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like it's that whole
That's what's so
Olympic
clever about
buzz.
it.
Yep. And
everyone
they can
buy in at $12.
Yeah.
And then if you want to get 100 packets, if you're a big spender, you just get 100. It's really clever. Good for them.
And
good for collectors.
The accessibility concerns me at times. If they sell out, well, they're not going to sell out. They do a run for a certain period of time. You just have to be in the window. The secondary market, what we saw with the one of one for the Olympics, but it creates demand, and that's what that's what trading cards is. It's a supply and demand industry. So everyone buys in, and then in the future they won't print anymore. So that's the pool.
Yeah.
We create our own pool of demand, and then that people seek that card and want the parallels, and they become even more valuable.
Yeah.
So really, really clever. I like it. I don't think all trading cards will come out this way, but I think milestones and special events will be celebrated with their own card.
I think we're going to see a lot more of this.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a very regular occurrence for Topps.
All right.
Yeah.
So on this, just a quick hitter on the spot, what generic points in time through the season do you think they could do this for? My first one is instantly NBA champions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like in July, here's a card run for the NBA champions.
Yeah.
Here's the finals MVP. It's award winners.
Yeah, definitely. Defensive player of the year, MVP, rookie of the year.
Yep.
And even too, so I think they do this in baseball a little bit, and I've no idea what it's called, but basically you could do it for the rookies too. So here's a piece of their jersey from their first game. So I think that would be, to me, like really interesting.
Yeah.
Because then you could date it to a particular game. Or this is the game they got 30 points even.
Wow. Does that solve the
I like that type of stuff. I'm interested in that stuff.
Yeah.
And I like the game-worn memorabilia too. And specifically when it's done to a date, like that really interests me.
So that could be the way, because obviously we've got the ongoing battle with regards to not game-worn stuff being put into product and everyone being unhappy about it. But having a limited release where it's like, here is your rookie class with their first jersey.
Yeah.
That's a very unique and very eye-catching sale.
I'm sure that would take a lot of time and effort to do it, but I would also assume too the business side would be there for them to get their percentage on their return on investment. I can't imagine it wouldn't do well for them.
Yeah. I think it would be a standout for.
All right, let's go to our first break. As usual, we've probably gone off topic just a little bit, but that's fine. All righty. This first ad break is going out to our friends at Fast Break Trading Card. We have a massive congratulations for them. It's their 1 year anniversary for their shop at Cheltenham. So lads, Congratulations. I'm sure you've had a few late nights or you've been lying in bed trying to solve some problems in your head to try and, make things work. I'm sure you've had a lot of late nights doing packing and parceling and doing all the logistics. I hope you can enjoy this special day for you guys. We can't be happier for you. They are having a trade day to celebrate this big occasion. 1 year anniversary, fast break trading cards, 75 Tulip Street on the 23rd of March, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Now, guys, we did a timeless moment about preparing for
trade days, yeah.
the Hobby Hangouts trade days. Listen to that before you go to the trade day. Get yourself organized. Also consider it a bit of a dry run before you go to a bigger trade day or
event. Yeah,
hobby event.
yeah.
That's right. Use this to sort of practice on. They'll be perfect. Thank you again to the guys at Fast Break Trading Cards. Alrighty, Ad, we're back. How you doing?
I'm great. Looking forward to that trade day.
Yeah. So this next one is about Ja Morant getting fined $25,000 for throwing the ball into the stands. Look, I think this is a very soft fine. I think what you should have done was just kick that thing, like booted it into the stands. Get your money's worth, mate. Don't half-ass these suspensions and fines.
Maybe next time he'll do that. He's like, if I'm going to get fined that much, I'm going to boot it in. Like whatever.
It was a funny one too because the way he threw it, was he actually having a shot at the basket? It went way over the basket, so obviously he wasn't. But at the same time, if you're going to do it, get your money's worth. Really good time to actually check out jar prices. I'm very intrigued by this. So looking at the last 3 months on his silver PSA 10, he's down 21%, nearly 22%.
Really?
His last sale was $280. Now, considering that Wemby's out, even though Zion is back and actually playing pretty well, I would have thought a bit more cash would be going to Jar at the moment, but it's the polar opposite. At $280, population is 1,753. If we're using Tatum as our measuring stick, that's 2.5 Tatums. I quite like this at this price point.
$280. That baffles me.
It's a liquid card. He's playing well at the moment. This to me is a buy.
That's a buy at that price. Sub 300 for Jar. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I get the high pop count, but 300 Ja Morant.
I mean, still
does he need
less than 4K than Wemby's.
Does he need to be more present? Does he need to be playing more games? What's holding Ja back as far as hobby love?
I think it's to do with news cycle.
Okay.
He's really fallen out of the news cycle.
Out of focus. Well, hopefully he doesn't whip out another gun because that we didn't want him in the news last time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
maybe the Grizzlies just need a bit of love in the media.
LeBron's been a bigger story this year. Luka's been a bigger story. Yeah, obviously, Wemby's been in the news a lot in terms of hobby wise. So
there's a lot of okay. That's a good point. What about limited time in the spotlight does impact your hobby, especially with someone like Ja? Like early in the season, he was dunking on people. He posterized Wemby. That was news. But I don't know. I think I don't know. There's only so much hobby
love at the moment. He hasn't missed that many games this year.
Interesting.
Like he's had a few games off. I'm not saying he's not missed a game, but he's been here, so it's not like he hasn't been playing. His numbers have been pretty good.
Maybe it's like the whole Memphis thing. Maybe because Memphis are this whole evenly spaced out, spread out team. There's no standout from Ja. And they're sort of not in the spotlight. Like the Lakers' recent win streak, Cleveland's giant win streaks. Do you know what I mean? There's Memphis is sitting there up and around the top of the West, and nobody's talking about them.
Yeah,
which baffles me. But maybe it's a buy for that very reason that they're going under the radar, and if they make an impact in the playoffs, everyone's going to remember that Ja Morant's a very good basketballer.
So actually, this is kind of a good to recap back through. So just going back to his rookie year, he played 67 games. The following year, 63, 57, 61.
Yeah.
And then last year, just 9 games. And this year, 38. So when you say it like that, he hasn't been that robust, has he?
Well, he's been more robust than Zion, but
yeah.
Same draft class, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to be a bit more present in the league. That's all. That would be my thought.
What you said also too I think is right. Like it does turn people off with the gun stuff. So maybe that's also part of it too, where people are
taking
just like,
time.
I've done my thing with Ja. I don't want to go back in.
Not risking it.
Let's move on. This is what I really want to talk about today. All that was just warm up stuff for us to get ourselves talking a bit.
Got a few reps in.
Yeah. So this is content from last week, but I wasn't ready to let it go. I wanted to keep talking about this. This is the whole comp that we did about the Wemby 1 of 1 that sold for $860,000. And then we spoke about the Steph Curry Logoman horizontal number to 5 with the sticker autograph that wasn't that clear, but still it is a sticker.
That was a very
Logoman.
very interesting comp though. Like as far as I liked that.
Look,
I that.
I think it's worth getting more people's opinions on this. It's not just ours. So we did that. We put up a post about it. Let's go to Facebook first. Ryan Jewell, Steph, it's not close. So much risk with Wemby. We are seeing it already. Steph is cemented already. And so I think we're going to go through a whole bunch of opinions, but this is where my head is really at the moment. I just feel at the moment, so when you've got someone like Steph Curry, and we talk about sure things, and we were talking about Tatum being like a good buy and something that's got very low risk.
Yep.
But maybe someone who has even less risk again is Steph Curry. Because
for sure.
If you look at his resume, you look at what he's already achieved, and he's still got more to come, and his pricing is relatively cheap. So again, I'm using the word relatively. We're still talking about $168,000 here, but it's still much, much cheaper than the $860,000.
Relatively is a very big, very.
But you know where I'm going with this? It's like, okay, so you could spend $860K on that Wemby, but that comes with an insane amount of risk. Or you can go this 168, which is, I think, my personal pick anyway. Even if they were the same price, I'm probably still going for the logo. Man, I'm going to get annihilated for that commentary, but at the same time, like, I think I would still rather that. Plus, it's also got that price difference. So yeah,
I'm not backing the Wemby here. I'm in Team Steph. I think everyone knows. I think Steph is one of the more underrated, and I think he'll be the next one on the mountain as far as in the all-time greats. I think Steph Curry changed the game of basketball and has had such a big impact that his hobby love will continue for many years to come. There are a generation of people our age, obviously the Jordan wave, then the Kobe wave. I think Steph's the next. That's that next one. I think LeBron will be in there somewhere, but I think Steph is more influential hobby-wise. As I said, every coaching junior basketball, you still see more Golden State Warriors Steph jerseys than pretty much every. And I get the jersey sales, you see things fluctuate, but Steph Curry is what every young kid wanted to be, and that doesn't happen very often. Sure, kids might start wearing Wemby, but you can't teach height, so kids can't go out and become 7'4", right?
Yeah.
But they can jack threes all day long.
I mean, maybe Wemby grew up wanting to be Steph anyway, the way he plays. But
true. But what I'm saying is,
altogether.
You aspire to be able to shoot threes from wherever you anywhere on the floor.
100%. I think he's very relatable. I think he's a good dude. All that stuff. I've got no troubles with that. I just really think where my head has gone in these last couple of weeks is just how much low risk Steph is. That's where my head is really at the moment.
Talk about liquid Steph Curry.
Yeah, liquid and low risk. Yeah.
Well, what's the chance it's going to go down? There are a lot of good comments. Good comments in the.
Yeah.
In the
do you want to do Joe Foos?
Joe's, yeah. Steph Logo Man can really only go up as he gets closer to his farewell tour. Wemby, although promising as it seems, it screams potential loss in value, then going up.
Yep.
So what was the end of it? He's selling way too high for room to grow value wise. Yeah,
100%.
Everyone's paying futures.
Where does this go
Wemby.
from here? Yeah.
And we've talked about that future pricing. That's my biggest criticism of Luka. It's my biggest criticism of a lot of in the spotlight young players.
Yeah.
The people are paying the overs on it, so there's no prospecting and waiting for it to grow. You're paying the growth price.
Yeah.
Which defeats the purpose. This Steph, on the other hand, is only going to go up.
Well, I mean, it doesn't defeat the purpose. Like, that's the thing about the hobby, isn't it? There's a million different ways to immerse yourself in the hobby. Maybe this was that one person's grail card. I mean, who knows? But I'm very reluctant to go down that thought path. I have to think that the person who bought that was high risk investing. Surely.
Sure. Yeah. But what I mean by defeat the purpose is if you're looking for growth in a card, you've paid for the card with the growth included. So
100%.
There's less likelihood of it growing to an amazing potential. It's not like a Kaboom that you picked up for $200 that is going to be now worth $3,000 or $4,000.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
pay $860 for it straight up.
$860K.
Yeah, $860,000.
Yeah,
It might be $1 million card in 10 years.
sure.
The room to grow percentage wise is so much lower. That
Yeah.
Steph could be a $500,000 card in 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
Anyway.
David Newell, too many cards printed these days. Unless it's numbered, I don't think this modern stuff will hold up in price. We're going to talk about this a little bit later on the show with the Hoops Hobby Blasters. For investment, I'd go Steph all day. Plus, with Wemby's injury, there's no guarantee. Steph is already a legend. Yep, 100%.
Yep. James Gregory, but if I had to, I'd buy 3 or 4 Stephs.
Yep. Anthony Mill, our top contributor. I'm going with Wemby on this one. How many Logomen has there been in the $1 million range? The Steph. Might take years to get up there with Wemby, still fresh in people's minds. Any achievement from here on it is only going to push it just higher. For example, Luka's Logomen's first upsold for $3.5 million, and then was resold for $1.5, bought by the original seller. Yeah,
interesting.
Look, I think it's great to get different opinions on this, and
yeah,
it's good to hear that. But at the same time, that Luka one was really problematic. It sold in COVID, and then with the the COVID sort of crash, the originals. That is true. He's actually 100% right about that. So I think that's the classic thing of someone playing chess when we're all playing checkers, though. So
yeah, this is true.
James Gregory.
Oh yeah, James Gregory didn't just. I'd rather buy 10,000 PSA 10 Marvin Williams RPAs and use those slabs to build an extension to the house.
That would be a very unique house.
But if he had to choose, he'd buy the 3 or 4 Stephs. We know.
This is from Instagram, Melbourne Cartel. Darren, I hope you're well. I'm taking Curry all day long. His card isn't going to drastically bottom out. A lot to play out for Wemby. Curry is a proven start. Yep, 100%.
Yep.
And our last one here is from Liftoff Cards. Steph's market would have to be way less volatile. Surely it just takes a steady increase from here. And at those prices, a Logoman of the greatest shooter ever could really be a no-brainer. Yeah, beautifully said.
Yeah.
I think that summarizes it quite nicely. Wemby-wise, what else do we need to talk about here? We have a Don Russ 1-of-1 that just recently sold for $26,000.
What do you think's going to happen with it? What do you think's going to happen? This is an interesting little sale, but what do you think the market's looking at with Wemby's injury? Is everyone still optimistic, or are we? Should there be a Wemby check-in at some point?
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. So actually, this is a little bit of an old sale. So just going back to the timeline, Wemby was injured on the 20th, and that's card sold on the 16th. So that was the pre-injury date, to be fair. Okay. But at the same time, I don't have a massive problem with this because it is the black. It is the 1-of-1.
I love a good color match, and the black being the 1-of-1. Yeah. Wemby 1-of-1's always going to look amazing. I like that card. Yeah.
What could this go down to? 10K?
No way. It's not dropping below 20.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. It could, but I don't know. I think it's a very...
This is from our friends at Card Letter. Only one comment on this post. Andy Zhang 7908. Why does that feel criminally cheap? I have to admit, I'm sort of in that sort of mindset, to be honest. And it could just simply be that it's Don Russ.
Don Russ 1-of-1. That's
it's a little bit of the ugly sister in the equation, isn't it? But, where do we rank product in terms of huge base ones? What have we got? Prism at the top, Optic second.
Yeah.
Maybe Don Russ third. Maybe it's as simple as that. It's just the third rung product.
It's just one of those things. I just thought I'd do a quick check.
Hit me.
It's going to be a week-to-week thing for me, I think, for the time being. Wemby's holding firm. Last sold price, 709. He's actually up 0.06%. So he's literally holding firm. $710 is the last sale.
Okay, yeah, good. I think we should be week to weeking Wemby at the moment. Definitely.
At the moment, to see what the market does with regards to him being absent.
Alrighty, let us go to our second break. Adam, I got something very exciting to talk to you about. We have a new sponsor of the show, and this might be our first international sponsor. So for me, this is a really big deal. Our new sponsor, and we'd like to proudly announce this, is with GTI, or GameTimeInternational.com. Go to their website, GameTimeInternational.com. Once you're there, you'll find all of your protection needs. Now, the reason why we have partnered up with GTI is our love for the product. So we found out about this product via Darren, who is our very proud sponsor from the Melbourne Cartel. They produce these magnetics, which are just basically, I think the best way to say it is just immaculately produced and also presented.
Yeah.
What they've actually worked out is how to get the card into a sleeve, into a magnetic, and just having it basically seamlessly presented. It's just the small details. So, for example, when you take them out of the packet, they've actually got a piece of plastic wrapped around it. So, when you peel that off, all of the front plastic is just immaculately presented. There's no minor scratches on it.
Yeah.
Then, when you open it up inside, the little feet at the bottom is all perfectly machined off. I've had different products over time. Sometimes they're a little bit rough at the bottom. You need to break it off to get it into the thing.
Yeah.
None of those issues with GTI. GTI are based in America. However, and I confirm this with the lads at GTI, they will ship anywhere internationally. There's no troubles with that at all. So please, guys, go on, check them out. GTI, they are the best one-touchers out there. They are just absolutely amazing. So thank you so much, guys, at GTI for your support, and we look forward to this ongoing partnership. Alrighty, Ad, we're back, and we're going to do a bit of a product review, which is going to be Hoops Hobby Blasters. Now, this is a little bit of a, not a long story, but I'll make it really quick.
Yeah.
Chris Hubbard posted on Sports Cards Addicts this week with basically like a box reveal. When I messaged him about it, he actually said, well, I make content on YouTube. So guys, check out Stumpy's Cards. You'll find there his reveal and box opening of these Hoops Hobby Blaster boxes. So it's something different. It's something new that we're seeing from Panini. And I just wanted to do a quick review. You know, we don't need to do 10 minutes on this, just a quick sort of 2-minute thing on it. We both have watched the video for a little bit. Basically, what Panini have done here is for a much lower price point buy-in, you're getting the same type of hits that you would get out of hobbies. And so you can get autographs in them, but in each box, you also get 4 numbered cards.
Yeah.
So in terms of value and people enjoying the rip, there's 90 total cards in this. So this is not a product for somebody that wants to get just 1 or 2 good cards. It's for somebody who enjoys, you know, building out the sets, looking at the pictures, looking at the artwork, the photography. The other thing that I really love about Hoops too is actually they put a lot of like time and effort onto the backs of the cards. So if you're somebody that likes to put cards into a folder, turn them over and then read all the backing, which is me, like that's one thing I actually, you know, quite enjoy from it.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is a really good product. It's a really good buy-in. I think this is a good example of price point. So if your price point is $50 to $100, this is absolutely something that, you know, you should be looking at. They've also got the Hoops premium cards in that. So it makes me think that we're not going to see that as a standalone product as we have seen the last couple of years, which I'm fine with. I think sometimes products coming, products going is not a problem.
Yeah.
An earlier comment, I just want to tie this back in, was talking about how that only numbered cards are going to have value in the future. So I think this is an example of where numbered cards aren't going to have value, though. I think the value on Hoops, the value proposition on Hoops isn't really there. I think this is for the true collectors, where people just enjoy trading cards. They enjoy having some cards in their hands and looking at them, as opposed to, you know, getting a massive, massive hit out of it, if that makes any sense.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Look, Hoops. Yeah. Having a numbered Hoops card is probably going to be worth more than having a base Hoops card, but it's not like we talk about silver prisms and the alternative being collect the number to $2.99 and
correct,
things like
but
that.
Maybe we need to do a prism review too in the future. And actually, we absolutely should. It's the Starship product, but I think that's an interesting one too. So even prism this year, like how many variations has it got? I think it's 80.
The number of parallels just keep going up. It's insane.
Just in hobby, let alone all of the other peripheral products that they put out. So you know, it could be 130 different types of parallels that come out of prism in the end.
Yeah, sure.
Which is like select numbers, really.
It's crazy. It's
would you buy one of these products? What do you think of it?
I like Hoops. I don't know if I buy it these days, but I like looking at it. It's definitely for product to rip. It's got the inserts are great. They're cool looking insert sets.
Yeah.
They remind me of the 90s. That's probably been my best comparison. And I loved all the insert sets in the 90s. So yeah, I guess I come from a different time where insert chasers were the thing. And seeing the variety that Hoops put out and the thought that goes into curating those insert sets, I think they look pretty cool. Yeah.
I really like hoops. It's got a very warm spot in my heart for me. And the thing I like about it at the end of the day, it's a price point. And I think if you're a hobbyist and you're a collector and you're looking for a pocket of value, I think Chris is right on here. I think these boxes are loaded, and for
Yep.
what you pay for and what you get, it's really good. And I think that's a bit of a contrast in comparison to when sometimes we're saying we're paying all this money and we're getting nothing back for it.
Yep.
This is actually an example where Panini is sort of, loading these boxes up. And
Yeah.
so, at the end of the day, probably where this conversation ends, though, is the conversation around, well, what's the after sale going to be like? And so I think
Well,
that's where you have to
I
be a little
think,
bit careful of, you can't say you're going to buy a case of this and get your money
yeah.
back. I don't think that's probably going to happen. You need to enjoy the rip, collect some sets.
I
That's
I
where these are
actually
at.
I
Yeah.
actually have a very well. I think I can tie this up in a little bow.
Go, mate, go.
I just said how much this reminds me of my childhood and growing up in the 90s and
Yeah.
chasing those insert sets. If
Yeah.
anyone wants to understand completely what the purpose of hoops is, especially with regards to value and long-term value and things like that,
Yeah.
the kids of today, the grassroots collectors, if you're looking to get your children into a product,
Yeah.
hoops is where it's at.
Yeah. And
It's
these Hoops
loaded.
Hobby Blasters is a great place to start. That's right. Yep.
Yep. People in their 20s, 30s, 40s are probably not going to see value,
Yeah.
long-term value and investment in hoops. But I tell you what, a 12-year-old child after their weekly game of basketball that gets a hoops blaster for playing a good game is going to absolutely lap this stuff up. It's the perfect entry-level product.
Yeah.
I think that's...
All right. Market Movers app. This next post is most sold cards. Number one on the list is Stefan Castle, rookie from the Spurs. Bronny James is second. Wemby is third. Reed Shepherd, Bazulis, Dalton Connect, Rishashare, LeBron James, Zach Edey, and Jared McCain. So I think what we should do is give Stefan Castle a little bit of love. I don't think we've talked too much about this kid.
I agree.
I'm middling on him as a prospect. I'm not all in on this kid by any stretch of the imagination. In saying that, I think he's fun to watch. So definitely, watch this space. If you're watching Spurs games, which I absolutely am at the moment, even though Fox looks like it's going to be out for the rest of the year, the Spurs are a good out. It's you're not going to be too bored watching the Spurs.
Yeah.
So just going to 130point.com, I've just searched for Stefan Castle to see what would come up. We got a luck of the lottery to 125 for $124.99 USD. A lot of inserts on here. I'm not seeing a heap of like Prism numbered cards and that type of stuff, which I was kind of hoping to see, to be perfectly honest. Stefan Castle, rookie NBA hoops insert Funkadelic in a one touch. I hope that's a GTI one touch. That's sold for $26.99.
Nice.
I'm surprised by that, actually.
Okay, but bonus plus the value of the one touch.
That's right. Bowman Chrome.
Yeah.
Wavy Gold to 50, sold for 161 USD. That's really interesting to me. So I think what that says to me is moving into future products when he is signing. I think he's going to have a lot of value there. If you've got a university product selling for that much, that to me is either overs or there's a lot of collectability on this kid.
So question of this rookie class. Obviously, Stefan Castle is the standout. Do you think this is going to be one of those sleeper products where rookies are going to start popping up in future years, or is this is just going to be one of those very ordinary draft classes where not a lot of value gets outside of a few key players? Obviously, we've got players that have sort of been in and out with injuries. Obviously, you've got your McCain, and there's a few others there that are already at the bottom of that list, but they're still there.
I mean, how many actually true bad draft classes have there been where there hasn't been a single prospect in it? Like we'll probably have to go back and look at this from a negative
deep dive.
connotation.
Yeah, no. We can deep dive some draft classes.
We can do a timeless moments on this ad. Just go back through like the last 10 years of draft classes. But
draft class value. Yeah.
Look, I think there's enough here to kind of be like, there's going to be at least 2 or 3 kids in this draft that you're going to be like, I think they're going to be okay. Just looking at this draft class, I think Alex Sarr can be okay.
Okay.
I think Ritzisher is going to be okay. Reed Shepherd, he's going to be a funny one because as much as I like his talent and potential, he might be a bit logjam, just like the kids in OKC are, where Houston have got a really loaded, young team that's good. Look, Castle, we've already spoken about him. Ron Holland, same thing. Like he's actually in a bad situation where the Pistons are good now. Clinigan, I'm not holding on to hope for him. Moving down the board here.
Well, Bazzelli's Williams in the top 5 here. Or is it Buzzley?
Bazilius, I'm not crazy on, to be honest. And the Bulls are a hot mess. And also, too, after they drafted Pat Williams and then paid him, I mean, how much
Yeah. Yeah, true.
draft credit should you be giving them? And then
Yeah.
moving down, look, I think it's going to be tricky. So, look, maybe there's not that much in this draft, but there's always someone that will, pop up and do a Giannis at some point, do a Jokic. Like,
yeah, and that's the thing.
it's too
Some
soon
of
to
these,
call.
yeah, some of these things are down the track. So
Yeah.
maybe there is some value, maybe there's not. Who knows?
All right, we need to deep dive that. I think that we should put that onto the timeless moments.
I will add that to the list of potential timeless moments as we speak.
All right, so Castle is not selling for super crazy. So Prism, this is a green that sold for $5 USD.
Yeah.
All right, if he's selling for $5 to $10, if you can get a silver for sub $20 USD, I think that's a buy. I think that's worth a crack, honestly. Luck of the Lottery silver for $23.49. There's one of those per box. I've got no problem with that, honestly. I think that's fine. All right, let's move on. We'll do one more really quickly, and then we'll go to a break. All right. I am not a sneaker person, but I'm all aboard this. The Adidas Harden Volume 9 is a Darth Maul crossover.
Oh, this card looks... These shoes are hot.
Absolutely sick. I am A+ frothing for this. And again, I don't even buy sneakers.
Yeah.
Would you buy a pair of these, Ad?
I wouldn't, but I really like them. I like them a lot.
So I think in true You Can't Comp This fashion, we have to then at least talk about one James Harden card. 2018 Crown Royale Kaboom Raw last sold for $390. PSA 10 last sold for $750. Population on that is just 5. Let's look at the BGS 9.5. That's interesting. Last sold for $630. Let's see when that last sold though, because that does make a big difference.
Which Kaboom is this?
This is the 2018 Crown Royale James Harden.
I got the 2013.
That last sold actually not that long ago, July the 7th in 2024. So that actually is a bit of a shout out to all those people that say that 9.5 sell for more than 10s. So the 10 sold for $750 in 2023. Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
It's pretty close in value, isn't it, really?
It is. It's actually not a bad card as far as, do you know what I mean? Like it's...
The aesthetics is beautiful.
Yeah, interesting one. I know that the artwork of the Kabooms have changed over the years, so...
Yeah.
I don't dislike this.
Alrighty. US Sports Cards Australia, thank you so much for your support and ongoing care and love. Shout out to the lads at US Sports Cards Australia and also to all of our friends who are trapped in this hurricane. We should have said this at the start of the show. We are thinking of you, sending your best wishes up there, and particularly to Ross. So Ross needs your cards. Please go to ussportscardsaustralia.com.au, click on the 3 little noodles, go down to check out my cards Australia, and then check out my cards submission. Fill out the form, send your cards to Ross. He will sell them for you. He is selling more cards than he's putting into his inventory. That is now the problem that he's got. If you want to get rid of a whole box of cards that's just sitting in your office, collecting dust, you want to move them on, roll that cash into more hobby cards for your own little collection, this is a way to do it. Thank you so much to Team US Sports Cards Australia. Alrighty, Ad, this is our last segment of today. How you doing?
I'm great. We're in the home stretch.
We are. Now, looking at this little list here that I've got lined up for us, what would you like to talk about first?
I've got, can I get the low-hanging fruit?
Of course you can.
Kobe Kaboom.
Let's do it. Kobe Kaboom. Let's go. I'll let you run
even though this card does, this is the actual gold version of the, anyway, I'm not even going to start.
Don't start. Just enjoy it, mate.
No eye-catching sale from Card Ladder. 2018 Panini Kaboom, Kobe Bryant, gold to 10, sold by Golden for $93,330 on the 22nd of February. That is a sexy card. That's all I can say. It's gold. If the only criticism I had is Kobe should be in the purple jersey.
And then you get more contrast in it?
Yeah, then it's literally purple and gold.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
The gold jersey on the gold background, Kobe gets lost a little bit. If it was a purple jersey or the black, like Hollywood Knights jersey, that would be crazy good. But
I got to be honest with you, man. I actually don't mind this, though.
I love the card. It looks great.
Yeah. Like the gold or the yellow and the gold or the gold and the yellow, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
The canary yellow.
It's definitely gold. Laker gold, my friend.
How many people at home would remember the 12th man?
If we get 2 listeners that remember
Yeah.
knew exactly what that was from, I'd be surprised.
I feel like our listeners in, say, Germany, America, Philippines,
Yep.
we might
Might
need to
struggle a
dig this
little
up
bit.
and put this on, just like repost it onto socials, actually.
That's it. Need to get something with off-white. Anyway.
That's right.
Don't
Some cream
Milwaukee
and
have
some
an
beige.
off-white? Anyway, the beige, the cream, the off-white, the ivory, or the beige. Yes, gold on gold for Kobe, and it is Laker gold for sure. 93K for a Kaboom. Gold
Yeah.
Kaboom. Is this a buy?
Look, I'm just going to go back to what we were talking earlier with the Wemby versus Steph, right? Like, this is cemented in, the legacy is done. The risk is not there. Low numbered kabooms. Yes, it's authentic. I got to be honest with you. I don't really care about that. I'm actually, in fact, let's just keep.
I was going to say that was the authentic PSA authentic.
No, but let's stay with that though. Like, it's about the card. It's not about the grade. I think.
Yeah, I know.
I'm totally down with this. Yeah.
That was the trigger point for me.
You get the PSA guarantee. It's a beautiful card. You're not worried about him. Any risk on it. Like, I just think this is
it's beautiful.
I'm going to be fixated on this idea for a long time. I can already feel it, but I'm totally fine with it. Alrighty, our next topic, this is very self-indulgent, but I just really want to talk about this. We're going to recap, or we're going to discuss the future status of the Phoenix Suns first-round picks. 2025 Rockets unprotected, 26 Wizards unprotected swap, 27 Rockets unprotected. This is insane. 28 Wizards unprotected swap, 29 Rockets unprotected, 30 Wizards unprotected swap, 31 Jazz unprotected. I mean, as much as I've been raggy on Nico lately, that is a very, very close second to mortgage your future out like that in such a diabolical way. Like, just say the Lakers did that, right? I'd be like, that's fine. People want to go to the Lakers. They'll sign with them for cheap. They can get a sign and trade, whatever. No one is wanting to give a discount to go to the Phoenix Suns. No. And they're going to have no draft equity. Like, nothing. Nothing at all.
Literally nothing.
Yeah.
Well, it means it frees up their calendar. They don't have to watch the draft every year. That's a bit of time that they've got back.
I mean, even looking at this year, where I like their roster. I actually think they've got a good roster. They're currently 29 and 33. They're not even in the play-in.
They're a train wreck,
and they're actually quite a way away. So
the Vegas Suns has been put in the comments. It's because they're bad gamblers. Anthony Milne put Vegas in the. They've gambled away their future.
I mean, if you can take future bets about how bad a team is going to be, I'm like literally putting this to me is like the Washington Wizards of the West now.
It's going to be. They've still got Kevin Durant.
They've agreed to trade him in the offseason.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, does Booker want to go?
Demands a trade too?
Yeah. But then they'll get some assets back. But you're right, they'll be the Wizards.
I mean, not that many picks.
The Lakers also give up a lot of their picks, but they invest in their investments were like things for like LeBron and Luka.
Yeah. Well, they barely gave up any picks on the Luka one. Like, I know you're trying to trigger me. Don't, mate. Like, don't do it, okay? It's still too raw for me.
Too raw. Okay.
All right, SGA. This is from Card Ladder. Now, this is an interesting one because this is a Prism autograph. We don't normally see these sort of big dollar spends on Prism autographs. So this is an interesting trend for me. PSA 10, 2018 Prism. So that's his rookie year.
Yep.
Population on this is actually 61. So it's not even that particularly low pop. It's spiked up to 2,600. So what I wanted to talk to you about is, my question is this just more a sign of the market where people are now starting to get onto SGA, trying to pick up stuff relatively lower pricing? Or is this something that we're now going to see a trend or a market change? Because traditionally no one cares about Prism autographs.
I think it's an SGA thing more than a market thing, personally.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're right. Prism isn't renowned for its autos, but
no,
it's actually it's a very nice card.
I was actually thinking that too. Aesthetically, that is excellent. Yeah. Look, I think if you're trying to find value in the hobby, this is actually a good place to start. Prism autographs are absolutely just disregarded in terms of aftermarket sales. So maybe this is actually a smart play. You're buying into something that's relatively cheap. You're getting a big name that's going to get bigger into the future. We've already talked about this.
Yeah.
Look, it's a nice pickup. I think the price point for me is a little bit too high. But at the same time, too, that also could just be what's happening with his market at the moment, where it just is higher.
True.
Alrighty, our market stick, Jason Tatum, eye-catching sale, 2017. So that is from his rookie year. The black 1/1 select.
That's a very nice card.
Patch autograph. So that's the laundry tag patch. Now that to me looks like a sticker autograph, but I could be wrong. It's a little bit hard to see on that photograph. That sold for 25K.
Probably a sticker. Wow.
All right. Actually, I didn't intend to do this on purpose, but we can comp this. So today we spoke about the Wemby 1/1 black Donruss sold for $26,000. This is a joke. Actually, when you lay it out like that, would you rather have a select laundry tag patch autograph Tatum for 25 or the Donruss Wemby for 26? That's insane. When you say it like that is ridiculous. What a purchase on that Tatum.
I would and as a Lakers fan, this is not easy to say, but I take the Tatum every day.
All day. I mean, even if you can't stand Tatum, just like the logic of it sitting there for you.
The logic behind it, right? And it's funny that was it the Donruss in the Wemby 1/1 someone said, is this criminally underpriced too?
Yeah. And I was like leaning towards that, but then when you see an example like that, you're like, actually, well, hang on a second.
Okay, so if we've comped these two, and we're saying that some people are thinking the Wemby was underpriced, this is clearly then underpriced. So what would you expect this to go for? If you didn't see the price tag, what would you have said this was sold for?
I find this stuff, to be honest, like pretty hard to comp out in my head, and the reason is because I don't deal in this wheelhouse. Like for me, this is all just like fantasy money,
it's all fantasy money. Yeah, for sure.
But where my head is at, so to answer that question in a sort of a non-specific way, it's more just about what I was talking about before with Steph. It's like this is a card where the risk has been taken out of it.
Yeah, relativity to it, right? There's that level of relativity. I think personally, I think that Donruss 1/1 is about the right price.
Okay.
I would value this Tatum closer to the 30 to 40K. Like I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't be surprised if it said eye-catching sale, Jason Tatum laundry tag 1/1 auto.
Yeah.
Sold for $38,000.
Yeah. Look, probably the thing that brought it down was the BGS sticker. If that had said PSA, I think that would have been at least probably another 10K.
50? Do you reckon it's over 50 if it's got
probably.
But at PSA 10?
I wouldn't crack that to resub it to PSA. Honestly, I think the risk to reward on that is just too high. And also too, because those thicker cards are tough to grade anyway. So getting a 9.5 is actually excellent. And so, yeah, as much as I think PSA is king, you just leave that one alone. Alrighty. This next one is an insanely deep cut, but this is also to do with my fantasy basketball team. So Kai Jones has been a two-way player for the Clippers for the last, say, 12 months or so. He was released by the Clippers. He was immediately picked up by the injury-riddled Dallas Mavericks. On debut, he had 21 points. He was just good. He was active. He was playing both ends of the court. He was running hard. Like that's the thing that really gets me. Like watch this guy run down the court at his size. It's actually it's quite fantastic, to sort of see that athleticism going on. Unfortunately, he's currently now on the injured list, but 21 points, 8 rebounds, 6 dunks, 9 of 10 field goal off the bench. He's not going to do that every time he goes out there. No. But look, solid little prospect. If you're looking for a very, very, very deep cut, you could check out some Kai Jones. That's just a little bit of a fun one. This next one is about future releases, and the downtown is next year going to be an optic.
Thoughts on this?
Look, this is not the first time that we see case hits move around. So the easy one to think about is Kabooms. And we talk about this every time that we talk about Kabooms. Always like, oh, it's from Innovation. It's from Cornerstones. It's from, this, da-da-da-da. So, it moves around. Crown Royale.
The case hit stays.
It's going to be in Revo coming up next year, yeah?
Yep, and that's one of those. The set might not exist, but the actual insert set is being kept.
The case hit exists,
yeah,
lives on,
yeah.
Look, I think this makes sense because really, what was in Donruss last year, and I think also too, if you think about it, this is like really clever because the next 12 months in product is going to be very problematic for Panini because of the signature status. So what I mean by that is there's only a handful of rookies signing, which is the thing that people would normally be chasing. So yeah, you take that out, but you replace it with a very collectible case hit.
Yeah,
definitely not as collectible as a Kaboom. More collectible than, I would say this to me is a very clear second in terms of case hits.
Yeah, for sure.
I like this. Actually, this is very logical.
Mm-hmm.
And then from a I'm just trying to be Panini for 2 seconds. In terms of spreading out how much product they can print, this lets them just blow the shit out of Optic now too. So, they're going to print heaps of hoops. We've already seen that with the hoops hobby blasters. You know how much Prism they print. Now they're going to do it again with Optic. It just gives them just a license to just print this out, basically.
Yeah. Would you want to wrap this up by talking about an eye-catching sale or noteworthy sale downtown-wise then?
Let's just do Dynatrossi for 2 seconds, literally 2 seconds. Look, shout out to Dynatrossi. She's retiring. You know how much I'm into WNBA at the moment, so I think this is one of the GOATs. Maybe I was going to say kings.
One of the OGs?
Yeah, let's just say the OGs. So just shout out to her. Happy retirement. Thank you for everything you've done for basketball. I hope you make friends with Caitlin Clark once you're retired. That would be nice.
Nice.
All right, let's finish the show.
Dame downtown. Yeah, Dame Lillard downtown. Given, we're going across to we've been talking about downtowns.
Yeah.
2016 studio. I remember when they were from downtown. Damian Lillard, FD6, PSA 10, Pop 66, recently sold for $1,020 on the rise.
Yeah.
That's a very notable sale for Dame Lillard.
Yeah, so my takeaway from this is looking at the all-time data and watching it go up and down, but also watching it go up consistently.
What do you think of this card? Like the actual visuals of the card, though?
I love downtowns. I love the narratives behind them. I know that the criticism the last couple of years has been that people don't like the artwork, but look, I enjoy it. But what I take away from this is more about just learning about what cards are important and how the trends can change over time. I think this is the perfect card for that. Dame is not that particularly hobby relevant. This card is not one of the biggest cards out there, but at the same time too, I think this is the right purchase. It really does come down to timing though, because look at that. I think that's the other thing to talk about too, is look at the timing on this. This ranges, literally $600.
You could have bought this back in 2019 for less than $100.
Yeah, sure. But then moving forward, even see the two dips it's there at. There's that really big dip down to sub 400, and then moving forward, that's around just a little bit over 400.
Yeah.
So that's the type of stuff that sort of gets me interested and I think also keeps me bidding on eBay.
Yeah.
You just never know when you're going to get lucky sometimes.
That's true.
Just get something like that. So
very good point. Great point.
That's it. We're done. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Russell. It's been a great episode. Good chat today. It's just like a lot of different topics.
Shout out to Central Coast Radio. Tune in to Central Coast Radio 3 times a week, 10 a.m. Thursdays.
10 a.m. Thursdays?
Late night, Tuesday night, and then very late night, Friday night at 3 a.m.
Nice. So we could have listened to it this morning if I was up at 3 a.m.
Oh, sorry, that would be Sunday 3 a.m. That would be very late night Saturday night.
Oh, tonight, so I can listen in. I can tune in if I go out.
Party tonight. That's right.
If I
listen
go out
to our
and
own
party.
tunes.
Awesome. Also, check out the YouTube channel. We've had the Timeless Moments have been going up as their own episodes up on YouTube. There's new videos going up every week.
You're doing a fantastic job with those videos, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And we will see you in the next episode. See you guys.